Yes, we're coming to you twice in one day. Who knows? We may be running these on the hour, every hour in the future, until we get enough guests at least. We have to get a more few folks on the docket. I'm Mark Galvin, your host, and this show is produced by Discover Dunwoody. We are running live versions on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. Love for you to go on to any of those channels and mark us down and turn on your notifications. So when we go live, you know, and you can come in and tune in to see who we have in the office today. What is Discover Dunwoody? We are the official destination marketing organization for Dunwoody. That means we're the experts on what hotels are here, what restaurants, where can you shop, what are the special events going on in Dunwoody. We put all of that on our website. So go check out discoverdunwoody.com and you can learn more about all the great things that we're always sharing. So, who is our special guest today? Our special guest is very dynamic, has spent more than 2 decades transforming special events into intentional experiences that deliver real impact. From citywide jazz festivals to intimate spirit tastings, she's mastered the art of creating meaningful connections through events. Today, she leads program innovation as Director of Conference Programming at the Institute for Internal Auditors, which I'm going to constantly call IIA from now on, because that's a lot. And she curates speakers for immersive content experiences for global audiences. She's also, which is the reason we're here, she's the president of PCMA Southeast chapter, which is the Professional Conference Management Association. Mm-hmm. And she's a passionate advocate for thoughtful event design. In her spare time, she earned her credentials as an associate bourbon steward and is sharing her whiskey adventures on Instagram. So definitely go check that out. Join me in welcoming Tonisha Landry to the Dunwoody Dialogues. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here.
Same.
We're supposed to talk about PCMA and IIA. We're going to get to bourbon because you already know from our previous conversation how much I love about bourbon, and I think some people in the audience knows that too. It always seems to come up.
Okay.
But before we go there,
okay.
I would love to hear a little bit about what is PCMA and IIA.
Mm-hmm. So the PCMA is Professional Convention Managers Association, and that association has been around for decades. An opportunity for professional managers, meeting planners, suppliers, or those we call business partners that get together and really start to help define and develop what the industry, hospitality and events is all about. Meetings mean business in that world. So when we're all together, we're talking about what makes the most sense, how we work well together. And it's really exciting to be a part of an organization that spans the globe in terms of the types of planners, the types of partners that are in business, what they're doing, how they're doing it, and what we can learn from each other.
Yeah, I have heard 1 out of 8 people are involved in hospitality in our country.
Right.
And that includes the industry you're in, planning events
Mm-hmm.
and putting them in hotels, not just hotels, all event venues, all the way down to a board meeting
right.
that may have 10 people. And there's a lot of moving parts to that. So love that the association's there to support them. And I've always called it PCMA.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in the industry longer than I can remember. And it's Professional Convention
Mm-hmm.
Management Association,
right?
If I don't plan conventions, I plan smaller meetings.
Sure.
Should I join?
You know what? I think there's value for everyone. I'll be honest. When I first joined PCMA, I was a nonprofit an event planner. So I did fundraising events for a nonprofit organization. But I found myself looking for more information, more knowledge about the event industry, and then looking for how do I find the right destination or the right venue when we wanted to move our gala outside of just our area. So that's when I learned about it and I joined, and I've been a member for probably 8 years now.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the day job, the JOB that you have,
The day job.
is the Director of Conference Programming for the Institute of Internal Auditors, IIA.
Mouthful.
I'm sorry?
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, there is a lot. So I don't know, that sounds like an audience that's maybe hard to satisfy. How do you do that?
I'm doing that with a smile right now. I think it's very interesting to be an internal auditor is there's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of numbers, but it's also very strategic looking across all the business units of an organization, whether you are at a multinational corporation, logistics, for example, or you're at a smaller organization, a community bank. There's always an opportunity to make sure that everything is in line and that you're protecting the organization from risk. So that's what I've learned in the past couple of years working for the organization, because I'll be honest, before that, I had no idea that this organization existed. But similar to PCMA, the Institute of Internal Auditors is like an association. It's a place where auditors or audit professionals can go and get continuing education. They can become credentialed as a certified internal auditor. And we service members across the globe. There's over 230,000 members of the association, yes. So we work a lot with institutes, so it's a federation model. We work a lot with institutes in different regions of the country, as well as chapters across the United States, Caribbean, and Canada, to help bring education, to help bring experiences, and again, provide continuing learning for those who are credentialed.
So I love to say there's an association for everything.
Yes.
Right. And internal auditors needed an association because that is I don't know, I'm guessing that's a space that constantly has things that challenge them, that
Yes.
new things that come up, new things they have to be aware of. So it's a great way for them to stay engaged and learn these new things, as well as just skills that are probably repeating skills they need to know all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about events, because
Okay.
that's your space. Have you ever done an audit? Have you ever done an audit?
You know what's interesting? There is something called an event audit.
There is not.
Yes, there is.
Wow. So have you done that?
I have. Well, back in the day when I was consulting, I have taken a look at what that organization, it was a nonprofit organization, what they were doing. And it wasn't about what you're doing wrong, but they were looking to change the scope of their event to reach more people. So it wasn't called an event audit per se, but
Sure.
essentially it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at all of your processes. What kind of documentation do you have? Do you have SOPs that are in place? Can efficiencies be gained by what I'm seeing on paper and actually sitting as an attendee at the event, not just from I'm enjoying, but I'm actually sitting and I'm observing every piece of the event, from the walking in the door to the speakers to how you close and all of those things. So that essentially is like doing an audit.
That's so interesting. And it makes great sense. A lot of moving parts to a program.
A lot of moving parts. So once
100%.
you put all those observations down in a report, it's almost the same thing. I don't want to demystify what internal audit does, but it's almost the same thing. You are taking all of your findings, putting it together in a report, and helping them develop a plan to make changes.
Yeah, that makes sense. So special events, you've got 20 years of citywide experience. You planned a citywide jazz festival, I
Yes.
think. And you're doing spirit tasting, 20-person spirit tastings. How do you sharpen your passion for special events into creating intentional experiences?
I think I started to develop a passion for being intentional with events by being an attendee.
Wow.
My background is not events. At the time that I grew up, in my short few years of life, there wasn't a degree like there is today about event management. I didn't understand what that was. I was this thought you have to go to school to be in business, and
Right.
that's kind of where I was sent. You're going to school and you're going to be in business, and that's where I started. I started my career in investments, to be honest, and I kind of got a little bored with that and was looking for something else to do. I was always passionate about people and seeing people come together. I think I got that from my grandmother. Bringing people together and seeing their interaction and engagement, the smiles on their faces, I think that's what started for me. And once I got invited to this job that I had no idea what I was doing, but it was bringing people together for a purpose and a cause. And at that moment, I thought, this is the lane
This
for
is
me.
it.
This is exactly
love
what
it.
I put on purpose to do, and that is bring people together. So again, attending events is one thing, and I've got a sharp eye, so I'm looking at the nuance, what could have changed, what could be better. But at the end of the day, especially for events that have a purpose or have some intentional outcomes, which, let's face it, most of the time when a business is putting together an event, they're looking for an outcome.
Right.
So if we're going to be intentional about it, let's set up the goals. Let's understand what the finish line looks like so that we can actually put together something that makes sense and gets you there. It's one thing to have a party. It's another thing to have a party with a purpose.
Yeah, and it is. And if they're investing, whomever that organization's leaders are, if they're investing money, they're going to want some sort of result, whatever that may be. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally see that. So, as you're running programs for IIA and you're doing all this programming, it's got to be hard, I'm guessing, to find the right speakers, to find the right content, to make sure you're speaking to that audience, because the audience is as diverse as can be, because you have multiple nationalities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How do you do that?
Wow, I can tell you I don't want to say that there's a magic formula. It is really trying and true. If it was like baking a cake where I could follow the recipe and easily replicate, you wouldn't need me. And so I'm okay with needing me, right? And needing a team. It does take a team of people because it's not something that I do alone. But it really is taking a dive into what is it that people are gravitating towards, what sessions might be the most interesting, and actually, to be honest, sitting in a session and hearing a speaker, going and listening, finding a speaker on social media or some links that they may have shared to understand if they're speaking in a manner that gives them credibility, if they're talking about a subject that matters the most to the audience, and quite frankly, in my opinion, if they're personal.
Yeah.
You know?
They got to connect.
Absolutely. So it is a balance of sometimes finding the time to be able to go and do that research, and other trusting that this person is going to deliver as they say. And really quickly, people give you their opinion, and we know.
Sure.
And then we can make decisions and kind of course correct from there. So it is trial and error in a lot of different ways.
Right.
But it's trying your best to understand the audience and going to find something that's going to meet their needs.
You know, so I've done some public speaking, and I would tell you, people would call me, and I could make myself look great. I really could. Here's why I'm great for your program. Being able to go and see them live and see them interact with an audience is a great idea. But that takes time.
It does.
And it takes money. And can you get there? So I bet when you have a speaker that's in the neighborhood, I think I'm going to pop in. You can do this within 5-10 minutes. You don't have to sit and watch the whole thing. You can see what is that engagement, because there is engagement with an audience.
Yes.
And if they're good at it, they're feeding off the audience, and the audience is feeding off them, assuming that the setting is right. I have given some speeches in some settings like, oh my gosh, this is very hard. I never want to go out and give another talk to an audience where the trade show is going on right behind them. That is hard.
That is hard.
Oh,
that is hard.
That was the most difficult thing ever. I did get through it, but that's a difficult thing. Not to say you shouldn't do that, but that one was.
Oh no, we put people through that.
Yeah. and I get why. And I do think sometimes a speaker has to know, okay, here's what's happening, and here's how you engage in this kind of environment.
Right.
Here's what I learned. Get off the stage. Make sure you got a lav on or a handheld mic, and go and interact with the people in the audience. They'll wake up. They're like, I'm in. This person's standing right beside me. I'm going to have to pay attention.
Absolutely. I'll get off my phone.
Yeah, exactly. Put your phone down. All right, let's talk about PCMA. We haven't really gone there much. It's a membership organization.
Right.
How does PCMA help advance the events industry, right? In fact, you said meetings mean business, right? And for those of you that are not in the industry, that is a common term. We say that all the time. In fact, we have a day in the year we celebrate meetings being business. And it's not owned specifically by a specific association. All associations in the space embrace that day because it keeps keeps us employed. At the end of the day, it really comes down to that. Hotels are busier. We have more to do here at Discover Dunwoody. It cascades. So how do members in associations like PCMA, how do you guys advance the events industry?
I'd say there's levels to it, right? So PCMA, there's a national headquarters or international headquarters, and they do advocate for the profession. So whether that is lobbying government officials and talking about the benefit of hospitality and what it means and different laws or regulations. I believe at one point there was a big lobby around tips, for example. So there's advocacy is a big part of the organization as a whole, but then so is the education. Again, just like the IIA, how are we educating and training people in events, making those connections, being able to bring together planners and partners in one space, I think is very, very key. So that's the value of being a part of an association, and I think a tremendous value that PCMA brings. And in my role with the Southeast chapter, we represent 7 states, including Puerto Rico. We try to meet members where they are in much different ways. The majority of our members live either in Atlanta, Georgia. So in this general vicinity, I'm sure there's a lot up here in Dunwoody as well. And then in Orlando, Florida. So those are 2 major areas that we have a lot of concentration of members, but we're spread across all the states. How do we reach members?
Yeah, it's hard.
Exactly. And, be able to say that we're here together. You have a peer, you have someone else that you can talk to that's probably going through the same thing. So let's get together and just vent or uplift.
Oh, I think that's important. Is there a PCMA national chapter?
It's the national organization, but each region or grouping of states has a chapter that can have direct engagement with the members.
Okay.
So once you join PCMA, they'll probably direct you to a chapter affiliation, so to be helpful for you to find people in your network.
That's great. I think that's wonderful. All right. So we've talked about you. You are a bourbon. Wait a minute. The real title is, I got to make sure I look at this, see this correctly. So you are an associate bourbon steward. What does that mean? And does it mean you had to drink a lot of bourbon?
That is a great question. No, it doesn't mean I had to drink a lot of bourbon. It was really just to take some class and educate myself more on the spirit, on what is bourbon, how is it made, where does it originate, and really understanding the complexity of the flavors that make it such good juice. I'm an associate level, so I'm just kind of at the, I want to say beginner, but I am a bourbon enthusiast. There is an executive bourbon steward level that is next, yes. It's just a little more classes, and what that does is take you through the nosing. I think we talked about that a little bit earlier, really being able to pull out and identify flavors and help direct people on the types of flavors that they may experience when they're tasting a spirit.
So interesting, yeah. I love that. And for the record, not everybody can do it, right? I know people, and I'm not going to name names, that just they don't have a palate that can pick up the full taste of bourbons. And I have good friends who say, I just can't taste that. And so you do, and it kind of physiologically, you have to be able to say, okay, yes, I can smell it, yes, I can taste it, but then identifying. There's the caramel, right?
Yes.
There's the smoke, right? One of my favorites, and you're a High West fan.
I am a High West fan.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
So they have a smoky bourbon that they put scotch. There's a scotch in it. What is that called? It's a campfire.
Yes, it is campfire.
And so I thought this was fascinating. It definitely has that bourbon base, but then a little bit of peaty scotch in there makes it. You clearly think, okay, this just came off the edge of the camp, right? It's fantastic. And I think all that is extremely interesting. All right. So you're doing a lot.
I do.
Your bourbons, you've got PCMA, you have IIA. How do you balance all of this?
That is very interesting. I will say everything in life is about how you choose to spend your time.
Absolutely.
So I will make certain sacrifices to kind of make time for some of the things that I enjoy. But it did help. I am a recent empty nester. I know. Can you believe that? I'm a recent empty nester. And as soon as my daughter left for college, I went to actually take a bartending class. So I did get certified to be a bartender as well. Not that I was looking forward to working in a bar, but it was, you know what? This is a time that I wanted to fill. And right along with that came the Associate Bourbon Steward. So that was me filling a gap of time that I had recently found in that way. But also I feel like, I think learned behavior over time. You were always taught to give back in some way. And that's why I joined in and became involved with PCMA. I've done other things as well in the community just to help out, because I think it's important to, it's not all about me. That's not what we're here in life to do. What's my purpose? So how can I help others? And if it's bourbon, I'll help you find it. I'll help you find that scent.
So bourbon is interesting because it's not just that I found. Bourbon is not a lonely love.
Right.
You share it, right? As
Absolutely.
soon as you and I started talking about bourbon, we had a connection.
Yes.
And it's kind of like playing golf. When you go out and play golf, if you know much of golfers, you automatically have a connection. Or college sports. I think all sports allow people to connect and have some commonality. So I can't let you go without asking you this. All right. This is the very last bottle. Imagine this. I'm going to let you only get one more bottle. It's your last bottle of bourbon. And I will give you $500 to buy it, but this is it. You will drink no bourbon after this. What bottle do you buy?
Can I ask a clarifying question?
You totally can. I would expect nothing less, because you are a professional meeting planner. I mean, that's what you do. You got to ask questions.
Got to ask clarifying questions, because all bourbon is whiskey, but all whiskey is not bourbon.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
So,
let's go broader.
Okay.
Whiskey.
Oh, I should have asked that question, because now you made it harder.
I'm not going to narrow it down. It's got to be a whiskey. So you name it. Can be Scotch.
I know. See, bourbon was going to make it really easy, because $500 for a bottle of bourbon I could do. Now you broaden it to whiskey. I am a rye lover. We talked about High West and their Campfire and their double rye. So what rye would I buy if that was the last bottle that I could take? My goodness.
Oh, this is good. I didn't tell you I was going to ask this.
No, you didn't tell me you were going to ask me
So
this.
while you're thinking, keep thinking. I'm going to fill some airtime.
Okay.
Right? If she chooses rye, it's cheap. So you can get a great bottle of rye. You're not listening. You're thinking, right?
Oh, I got it.
If you get a bottle of rye, you can get it for $35. It'd be a great bottle of whiskey. Now, you could also go out and get a bourbon and spend $250 to $500 on a bourbon. You know, hey, let's go get a Pappy Van Winkle. That would be a fantastic bourbon. But it may not be your favorite. All right. So pressure's on.
Pressure's on. And you know what I'm going to say? Old Fitzgerald.
Old Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Really?
If you gave me $500, because I know it's really expensive and that's the last bottle that I could have, I'm going to sip that little thing for as long as I can.
I love that. I love it. All right. So is there is there a version of Old Fitzgerald, or is there only one bottle? So I don't know this brand.
Old Fitzgerald for the longest was its own bottle, similar to the Blantons, but it's produced by Heaven Hill. And what they recently started doing was an Old Fitz 7-year. You can find the Old Fitz 7-year. You're most likely going to find it around $100. But if you're going Old Fitz all the way, good luck finding that piece. So if you give me that $500, that's what I'm going to go find. Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's interesting, because that's not a brand that you're featuring at home, because I know which brands you feature.
You're right.
I love that.
Because I haven't found a bottle.
Old Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Duly noted. All right. So where can people find out more? You and I could talk all day.
We could talk all
maybe
day.
we got to have her back, just talk about bourbon. Maybe do some bourbon tasting, virtual bourbon tasting.
Let's do it.
I love that.
I'm all for it.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That actually would, don't put me up to that.
So Mark and I are going to be on both of our social medias on a virtual tasting, right? So you can find me online. Sign me up. Tonisha Landry is my name, and that's where I am on LinkedIn, Instagram, even TikTok.
Wow. I love that. All right. Well, we'll get you. We're actually at that point. Now, you know what's happening is Ray Ezel's over here waving at me because he wants me to ask something. Yes, Ray. Fire at me. Oh, Ray, this is funny. Here we are talking about bourbon and whiskey. Ray wants to be in the game.
He's like, please sign me up. I got you, Ray.
Yeah,
I'm going to share my Old Fitz with you.
Ray doesn't have a problem when there is a bottle of bourbon that's cracked open. He's certainly willing to taste it.
That's good.
All right, let's get serious.
Okay.
Where can people find out more information about PCMA, IIA, and your bourbon tastings?
Wow. So PCMA, I am currently the chapter president of Southeast chapter of PCMA. So you can find us at southeast.pcma.org or just pcma.org for general information about the organization. The Institute of Internal Auditors, the IIA.org, is where you can find out more information about that organization. And then again, I'm Tonisha Landry you can find me on LinkedIn, Tonisha Landry. I'm probably not talking about bourbon there, but you will see me on Instagram.
I love that. Well, I'm going to follow you, and I'm going to be commenting.
Yes,
100%.
go. There you have it.
And so, I discovered, and you confirmed, Tanisha, this was so important to me. High West has a rye called Double Rye. It is fantastic, and it's $35. It's as good as a lot of bourbons that are $100.
Yes, it is.
So you got to go check that out. All right, enough about bourbons. This has been fun. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for watching. I'm Mark Galvin, your host. This show is produced by Discover Dunwoody. Our director of the show is Madison Holtz. We so appreciate Madison. Put some nice comments in the comments section down here, letting Madison know how much we love her and all the work that she does. We, as you know, we always talk about this. We have these Dunwoody stickers. We love to hand them out. We want one on your car, on your laptop. Maybe your kids can stick them on the wall down from their room. Whatever the case is, they're free, so the kids can do that. They can just wallpaper the entire hallway. Where can you get these? You can get them at City Hall. Functionize Health and Physical Therapy has them. Stage Door Theater has them, and Sproul Gallery, among others. And if you can't find any of those locations, you can't find any of them, come here. Come to the worldwide headquarters of Discover Dunwoody. We'll be happy to give you one or a stack of them for that matter. Thanks for watching us. We love that you're here. Remember, we've got a great website, discoverdunwoody.com, or go check out our social media, Discover Dunwoody. We're very proud of the work we do on social media. We have a great team of people that are going to all the restaurants, all the retail areas to show you what's new in Dunwoody, what's coming up. Go check that out. Discover Dunwoody is the handle on all our social media. Tonisha, thanks for being here. So much fun to talk to you. Love what you bring to the table. We love our partnership with PCMA. It helps us get more folks to come to Dunwoody for meetings and conventions in our major hotels. So we appreciate your partnership and hopefully see you again soon.
Absolutely will. Thank you.
And thanks to all of you. Thank you for watching so much. Now, go out and discover Dunwoody.